Hello, it's Karen from New of Life. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about that I moved to Japan at the beginning of December. Finally. I grew up in the Netherlands to a Dutch dad and a Japanese mother, and ever since I was around 14, 15, 16, I've always wanted to go to Japan. I was obsessed with Japanese things when I was young, definitely an otaku. I would watch a lot of anime. I preferred Japanese music over Dutch music, actually. And I was that girl in high school who had morning musume and anime pictures in my agenda, and everybody thought I was weird. The way how I related to Japan when I was young was really like an obsession. And I realize now that it wasn't really that healthy, maybe. At the other hand, it was the only way I knew how to connect to Japan. And it's not that weird, actually, because even though games, idol culture, anime are not Japan, they are Japanese, though. So it just was what it was at the time. At around the age of 16, I began work at a Japanese lunchroom, and that was definitely one of the most life-changing experiences for me because that was the first time I really connected with Japanese people. I served Japanese customers, and I could really learn firsthand about Japanese culture because I was surrounded by Japanese people and treated as one as well. Through this experience, I could learn so much, and it felt so good because I felt like I was learning something about myself. Even though I grew up in the Netherlands and I'm a very tall girl, I didn't always fit in 100%. Also because of the reasons I mentioned earlier, but it was also a personality thing. Like, Dutch people are very outspoken, and you need to be confident and speak your opinion loudly. You should, or else really in a group conversation you don't survive. But for me, it was quite hard because I find it very hard to loudly voice my opinion, and I tend to be a shy person. Just because I was in the Netherlands, I lived quite an extroverted life, and I really tried to be a part of it. I mean, I'm Dutch. But now that I'm here in Japan, I realize that that's just not really who I am. Like, I'm very introverted, and being in Japan, I am being confirmed about that fact. Some of my friends are probably laughing because they're like, duh. I mean, you didn't know you were introverted? Well, it's because I also had a really big social life in the Netherlands, and yeah, I was here and there, and yeah, but I also burned out often. So now being in Japan, I'm having my solitude, and I'm learning that it's okay to have my alone time, and it doesn't make me selfish because a lot of people here are like that, so it makes me feel more normal. And also in Japan, people actually give you the turn to talk rather than that you have to fight for it. So I'm not saying that one thing is better than the other. I'm just saying it really fits my personality. So yeah, it has been early days though because I moved 2 months ago. So I still have a fair bit of time left here, which I'm really happy about. And it's something, that I can't believe it's actually true that I'm here, because living in Japan has been my dream since I've been a teen, but I could never quite make the step. And the reason for that was simply because I was afraid of what people would think, mainly because I am a person who doesn't really have a career and doesn't really know what direction I want to go in life. And also life hasn't been going the way that I had hoped to. For example, I lived in Australia for 5 years, and I ended up moving back to the Netherlands because my partner and I broke up. And that was a very tough moment for me, obviously. So when I was back in the Netherlands, I was having a really rough time. But the ironic thing about all of this is that yearning of going to Japan, that fire never went out. So ironically, even though I was in a very rough moment in my life, because that fire was still there and nothing was stopping me to go, I was finally able to just, eradicate all those excuses just freaking moeo and go to Japan. So I was done with the excuses. And even though I was freaking scared to jump in and to dive in, I did it, and it was the best decision of my life. So yeah, I discovered so many things later in my life that I wish I learned much on a younger age. And sometimes I feel quite behind, but I'm accepting it and I'm owning the fact that I am a noob and that I still want to learn many things. So if you're also ready to dive in to be a noob together, then definitely subscribe. And I hope that I can grow to be the person that I want to become someday. So yeah, you can follow me on this journey. Yes, whatever you're doing in your life, ganbare! And I hope to see you in my next video. Johnny, bye bye!